Well, hello everybody. This is post the renovation project on the investment property. I just kind of threw everything in here off that job. My trailer is a wreck. So I've been kind of working up there and organizing things. I've got to build some shelving and stuff to hold bins and whatnot. I've got all kinds of stuff that I've pulled out of it down here. But originally, I didn't really know what all I was going to have in here. So it slowly came in one piece at a time, and now you can see the wreck I've got on my hands. So I need to keep this area over here. This is where I strap my sheet goods to the wall on this E-track. I also sometimes put 16-foot pieces in here, and that's about the length of my trailer. I'd entertained putting like a Harbor Freight toolbox across the front up there, but I figured it was going to weigh too much on the tongue. I don't know if it could really handle all the bouncing around with tools in it. It'd probably just destroy itself. So I'm going to work something out. I haven't really finalized my idea yet. I'm still kind of taking inventory in my mind. But I'll show you where I'm going with it once I get there.
Alright guys, well here's what I've come up with and what I'm going to build. This is just some 3/4 shelving, and it's going to hold a lot of plastic bins in here. There's going to be 3 wide. Different heights, and this bottom area down here can either hold bins or other things. I'm going to make some brackets here, and these pieces right here will come out so I can slide 16-foot pieces underneath it on the floor if I choose to. I'm also going to use some of these shelves for tools and boxes and things like that, so there is a lot of storage space in here that's going to be utilized quite well. Now, since the front of my trailer is rounded on the nose, you can see I've got a piece coming off the back. That is after basically drawing up a sketch here from dimensions in my trailer with that particular arc, and then building this cabinet to fit. Now the shelves are actually slanted down in here, so I won't have to secure it in any way. I'll try to show you a quick shot of that. Let's see, I think it's this one. If I can get it positioned properly. There we go. So that's basically going to be dados through here holding the shelves. And then what I'm doing is just using this. Instead of doing drawings and everything, I'm just going to use my sketch and I'll print it out. And this is my dimensional layout. And I'll have one for the outsides and one for the insides, because the insides actually extend out further right here. Not really getting too hard off into this, just kind of showing you what I've got going on. So that's the general rundown right there. And then we'll move into an assembly view here with simulated bins. Now you can really see what I'm going for, and you can see how the center section extends out. So this is actually going to be fastened to the wall. These are also 2 separate units, even though it does appear to be one. I'm going to mount the one on the left first and secure it to the wall, and this back brace right here is going to be secured to this leg, and that will allow me to screw it into my members. On the outsides up here, I'm just going to put a few L brackets into the steel structure in my trailer. Now these feet down here, I'm making them like this. They'll be dadoed into this bottom plate, and I will run a series of screws to secure it down to the floor. It shouldn't go anywhere, but once it is installed, the left bank that is, I will drop this one down into the dado and push it back, and then merely secure it through here with some screws. And then this outside foot will be screwed down, and then of course I'll have some L brackets here through the structural members on the trailer. Now I actually made this taller originally. You can see how these bins are kind of sticking out the top, and I did that because I was able to basically change the dimensions a little bit and save myself a $30 sheet of plywood by just doing some dimensional changes. Now I'm using this Cutlass program, which I really like. So I've just simply input all the data for the shelves, copies the thickness, the dimensions, etc. And then I can do a layout tab. You can see over here I've got 4 sheets of plywood as it's taking, and this is all the waste I have out of that 3/4. Now, I had solid backs on this, and you can see it split right here, but it was going to require 2 sheets of 1/4-inch plywood to do the backs, and I was going to have tons of waste at that. So I elected to put a seam line down one of the shelves so I can get all the back material out of 1 sheet of plywood. This sheet of plywood I actually already have, and I needed to purchase 4 sheets for this. So that's what I'm building. We're going to get underway with it and get it done.
Alright, well, I'm underway. I've just cut out these 3 pieces right here. This plywood isn't even remotely close to being square. It's a parallelogram, so I'm having to clean up the sheets and square them off so I can do my cuts. I got really tight right here after squaring this sheet up. I almost didn't make it. I had like a 1/16 of an inch to spare here so I can cut this down to its final dimension. Not too pleased about that, but what can you do? So anyway, I've got to make another one just like these 3. This is a short side, a long side, and one of the shelves. Well, alright, I've pretty much got all my sheet goods knocked down to where I can handle what I need to on the table saw, which is the shelves over there. So far, this is pretty much all my scrap, and there'll be a little bit of scrap out of this. It's been a tight build, but that's the way I wanted it. Well, as it turns out, a couple of my shelves are actually going to be shy about an 1/8 inch to my desired width. That's because I needed to square up the plywood. No big deal. The way I'm going to get around that is I'll make the shelf to its final dimension and then make the rest to match those. And then where I'm going to cut the rabbet on the back here, I'm just going to inset it a little bit so the back will be about an 1/8 inch further in. No big deal. I really only needed to lay out one of these bottoms right here. So I laid out this first dado, and then to mark the other ones, I just simply extended the bottom line around and laid the sheets face to face and transferred my mark and scribed my lines. Very quick way to do that. That's really the only layout that I'm going to have to do here. I'm going to do the rest with no measuring at all. I'm going to show how I'm going to do that to get them done quickly, and they'll all be the same. Of course, I normally use my dado stack to do rabbets and grooves, or dados and grooves rather. But a 3/4 router bit is too wide for this undersized plywood, so I did have to go buy a router bit that was 23/32 to get a nice fit. Okay, I just want to describe how I'm quickly cutting these dados. I think this took me about 10 minutes to do all these. Once I got the first one lined up, I just used a straight edge clamp down to make it. Then I'm just using a scrap in here, clamping that in, and then I've made up a spacer that is minus whatever my cutting edge down to here is. So I drop that in, I cut it, and then I move this up one, and then cut the next one. And then when I skip down, I've made a narrower spacer for doing the rest of them up at the top, which goes like this. A very quick, fast way to do them, especially ones that are angled like this. Alright guys, well, I'm making ground. I've got all the dados in here and the groove that runs up the back that's going to accept the back panel. So the shelves will stop right here. This will get a groove. I had to use a groove here because this extends off the back. The other 2 short sides, they'll just get a rabbet that runs down through there. That's where I'm at right now. I've pretty much almost got the carcasses ready to roll. All the shelves have been made. So once I get so far with it, I'll go ahead and put the main carcasses together and then work on the feet and the other little miscellaneous items. Alright guys, well, I've got this carcass put together with the exception of fastening the back off and the foot that goes on the bottom. This is just screwed together, no glue. There's so many shelves and fasteners in it, it's not going to go anywhere. Alright guys, well I just wanted to show a quick way to make layout marks for the fasteners across here, because that shelf is back here and it's coming up at an angle. If you take a piece of scrap like this and just mark the center of it, you can actually hold it up under here with the dado and just make a tick mark right there, and then do the same on the top. And then I'm just using a drywall T-square that I've offset at a particular angle, just lining up that mark with the other mark, and on the side of it I've made marks wherever I wanted them, X amount in and then one in the center. So it's just a matter of coming down in here and making a little hash with a mark coming off, and that is going to indicate where I put my fasteners. It's very quick to lay them out like that, and they're all uniform and equally spaced. Alright guys, well I've pretty much got my carcasses put together. I'm installing the feet, but before I install the center foot I need to make my brackets. So this is just an angle bracket that I picked up from the big box store. It's going to be cut up into 3 sections, and they are going to be the custom brackets, which hold the wood slats to prevent things from coming out on the very bottom underneath the cabinets. Alright, well I've made the bracket I need right now. I'm going to make the other 2 later. It doesn't matter, I can put them on after it's installed. So it actually mounts here under the center foot. It's mortised in. I need to pierce a couple holes to fasten it, but hopefully you can see what I was meaning there. This is where the front of the cabinet will be, and that gives me a slot to slide in a 1x material there. Alright guys, well I was starting to work on my other brackets, and the way I was going to do this was to notch this out right here so it would set on the ground. But in lieu of doing that, here's one of my feet. I just cut a little notch with my table saw to where it'll sit in there like that. A lot less work for me, and it's still going to work exactly the same. I will show a quick clip of the finished bracket once I'm finished with it, but we are moving along. Alright guys, well I've made my other 2 brackets. This is the way it looks finished. A purpose-built product, repurposed for my purpose. Well, alright guys, there it is, installed and loaded up. A complete smorgasbord of organization. I love it. Most of this stuff was dangling around my feet, and look at it now. I'm stoked. I still have tons of work left to do on the rest of the trailer, but this portion of the project is complete. Alright guys, well here's a quick shot of the way all this bracing ended up down here. I can simply pull this out, remove these contents, put in some 16-foot pieces, make my haul, unload, put everything back, and then stick this back in. You can see I put this little brace right here. That's so if I only remove one side, it prevents the other side from sliding out and losing whatever's in that compartment. I hope this helps and gives you guys some ideas on something you might do to pack a lot of things in a relatively small space. Thanks for watching guys, and good luck.